graduated from college. I was raised with sports and music and the symphony and all of those things that some of us take for granted. But I had an advantaged background. But I also had the gene for addiction. And so experimenting in high school turned into a full-blown heroin addiction by the time I graduated from college at 21. And I realized that I needed to make some serious changes, and I went into treatment, but I was unsuccessful. And that started a long process of going into treatment over and over to try to get clean, and I just couldn't get it. And so when I was 27, I had recently gone on methadone, and I had stopped using heroin. But I had a knock on the door that changed my life, and that was the Drug Enforcement Agency. 2 DEA agents came to my door and told me that they had a felony drug trafficking indictment for me with a 2-year prison sentence attached to it. It didn't matter to them that I was not a drug dealer. I was just a user. They knew that. And it didn't matter to them that I had no prior criminal record. Their purpose in bringing that indictment and that sentence to my door was so that I would set up somebody else, because I happened to know a guy who was a heroin dealer, and they wanted to use me to get to him. And the way that they did that was, the year prior, somebody who had previously been my heroin dealer was busted, and he started calling me. I didn't know that he had been busted. I wasn't buying heroin at that point. But he kept calling me saying, I'm really sick, I'm in withdrawal, can you please just get me a couple of bags? And he called and called and called, and I kept saying no, and then one day I said yes. And I went and I got him $40 worth of heroin. And what I didn't know then is that he was wearing a wire. So when the DEA came to my door, I was about 6 weeks pregnant. I had just found out that I was pregnant. And they put a lot of pressure on my husband and I to do what they wanted me to do, and we refused. I refused to participate in their game. That might be hard for you to understand, but I had 2 reasons. I did what they said I did, and I didn't think it was right for someone else to pay the price for that, and I was scared. To have the reputation of being a rat or a snitch on the street is, it's not a good thing to be, and I was afraid of retribution from the heroin dealer they wanted me to set up. And so I went to jail. I was 5 months pregnant when I went to jail. I did not have bail. And at that point I knew what happened if a woman is pregnant and she is incarcerated at the time of her birth. I knew that what would happen to me is that I would be handcuffed. When I went into labor, I'd be handcuffed and taken to the hospital, and I would be shackled to the delivery bed. And then I would be tied to that bed the entire time I was at the hospital, and when I recovered from the birth and I was medically cleared to be released, I would be taken back to jail, and my daughter would go home with somebody else. So at that point, I was deeply ashamed of the choices that I made that got me there. I was feeling very hopeless. I was feeling very powerless over the situation that I had, and I thought that there was no way out. But there was. I was given an incredible gift, and an organization called Maine Pretrial Services stepped in. They interviewed me. They determined that I was not a flight risk, and I was not a threat to the community, and they allowed me out on a special type of bail contract with supervision with them. And so I had my daughter in a hospital, and I got to take her home with me. That organization made the difference between me being given an opportunity to be her mother or losing that opportunity altogether. So I still had the felony sentence and the charge I could face. My privileged background stepped in. My parents had the money to hire a private attorney, and that attorney fought for me to get into drug court. I did drug court. I graduated. It's the hardest thing I've done to this day in my life, but I did graduate. After 4 years, my husband relapsed, and I followed, and I lost custody of my daughter when she was 4 and a half. And I ended up on the street. My husband was deported. I lost custody of my daughter. I lost my job. I was evicted from my home, and I landed on the street. And I was homeless for 2 years, and with a bad drug addiction that I couldn't stop. And so there's basically 3 ways to support a drug habit. You can prostitute, you can steal, or you can deal. I chose to deal. And so I supplied other people who liked cocaine with the drug that I liked, which was cocaine, and in turn I got free cocaine. And it didn't take long for the DEA to walk back in my life again. And I faced another Class B felony trafficking charge. I was bailed this time. I couldn't stop the freight train of addiction that I was on, and I committed another one. I was charged again for a second Class B felony trafficking charge while on bail for the first one. And you'd think at this point, right, that the prison sentence was a no-brainer, that I would not be given any further chances. But the judge for my case recognized that substance abuse was the reason that I was committing these crimes, and he allowed me to go to a treatment facility while on bail before there was a disposition in my case. And I was there for 2.5 months, and I broke some of the rules, and I was sent back to jail. And again, I thought, there's no way. But there was a little piece of me that just desperately wanted to get better. It wasn't even really about the prison sentence for me. I just didn't want to continue to suffer with the disease of addiction anymore. I wanted something different. And so I went before the judge and I begged him to please give me one more chance. And against all the odds, he did. And he allowed me to go enjoy a year-long faith-based residential program. I was forced to plead guilty. The deal was I plead guilty to the felony, I get to go to treatment. For me, there was no question, I just wanted to get better, and so I went to treatment. That was a long time ago. So I have 5 years of recovery today. That last chance is the chance that I needed. It changed everything for me. I have 5 years of recovery. I've had custody of my daughter back for 4.5 years. I have an amazing life today. I'm a recovery coach. I help other women who are going through what I've been through, and I do a ton of advocacy work for other people like me. And I just want to touch on the war on drugs. Is like the Titanic. It's full steam ahead. It's going the wrong direction. It's going to run aground. And on it are the 7 million people in this country who are under corrections control at this point in time. In the 1970s, there were 300,000 people roughly incarcerated. Today it's 2.3 million. And the majority of those people are disadvantaged people. They're minorities. They're people who live in poverty. They're people who have mental illness and substance use disorder. They're people who are poorly educated. And they're on the lower decks of the Titanic. The wealthy and the privileged people are on the upper decks, and they have the money to buy a lifeboat. The majority of people do not. And so this is where the Mass Bail Fund comes in. Massachusetts Bail Fund changes outcomes for people like me to get bail and to be given an opportunity to keep a job, to keep custody of children, to get resources and community support. It's been proven that the outcomes in the cases are better for those people who are allowed to be in the community during that time. The Mass Bail Fund is a lifeboat, and it's one that we can offer right here and right now, because it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort to turn the Titanic around, and in the meantime, we have the ability to offer lifeboats to those who are already on the ship. So the Mass Bail Fund has helped as of November 2016, and the numbers have gone up. I just don't have, I haven't tallied them yet, but as of November 2016, they've bailed out 412 people. Of those 412, only 5 didn't show up for court. They've gotten 52% of the cases that have been closed have been dismissed. So those people didn't have to serve time for crimes that they weren't even convicted of. They've posted $190,661 worth of bail in the time that they've been in operation. And as Susan said, most of that money comes back and it gets used over and over. In Massachusetts today, 44% of the women that are at our prison in Framingham are there on the awaiting trial unit, which means they haven't even been convicted of the crime they're there for. This is costing us $56,000 per inmate per year on average. And in Massachusetts, we spend more on corrections than we do on education. This is a major, major problem that many of us don't even understand or are aware of. And so I'm asking you today to support the Massachusetts Bail Fund, to make a difference to just a small percentage of that 7 million people to change the outcomes, to change their lives like it did mine. So I ask you to please